turn. The woman gave me a state board exam book. Best thing she could have did, because I learned a lot during that time. But I was 14, so I was used to, like working in a salon, and then I became pregnant. And then I had my son, and I was just like, well, I got to find something different to do. Like, I got to find another way, because I can't be in the shop after school.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or not only not just being in the shop, some days in the shop as an entrepreneur, you may not make any money. So I was looking for something more stable. And I got a little part-time job after school, and I would go at 4. I had to be there at 4, and I would get off at 9. And after like the first 2 weeks, I knew like this is not going to work. I've been going away from my baby all day, and the money was like so little that I was like, there's no way I'm going to do that. So I quit that job, and I decided to go back into my mother's home to do hair. And so I still was just part time, but my mother, my sisters were a huge support in that they helped me to figure out that balance. And then after I graduated high school to go to hair school, my mother worked nights
Mm.
so that I can go to school in the morning and do a little hair after school. So I wasn't balancing it by myself. And then at some point, it became there was a time where my mother's shift switched. So then I had my son at the salon with me sometimes.
Yeah.
And then my boyfriend at the time, current husband, he would step in when he's done with work and come get my son. And I had no real schedule, because the purpose at this time to make money, because now I got a son and I got to pay booth rent and I got to pay tuition at school. So I have all of these responsibilities. And so now the focus is you got to earn some money. You have to have an income. So it was quite a struggle. I had my second child at 20 years old. And so now I got 2 kids. And honestly, it was really tough for me to actually complete school. I went to cosmetology school at 17. So straight out of high school, I started at Truman very briefly. We were living west when I started, and then we moved south like right after graduation. And so I was taking like a 2 hour and 15-minute train and bus ride up to Truman. And I was passing this small cosmetology school every day going. So I decided to drop Truman and just go to cosmetology school. And all of this, now looking back, all of this was just a part of the path. But back to being able to balance. I wouldn't have been able to do it if it wasn't for my support system, for my mother, my sisters, my now husband, helping me out, stepping in. And that was my first set of children. The second set of children, say fast forward 9 years later,
Right.
I got married in March. I opened my business in July, and I gave birth to my third child in November, all in the same year. That is when I knew that I did not want things to be the way it had been.
Sure.
I did not want to raise I was older now. I was 29. So I did not want to raise my child in a salon or with that busy, hectic lifestyle. I now have a husband, and my older children, they were getting older. And I had been praying about it, like, Lord, I need a new strategy. I need something different. I need to figure this out, because I was not exposed to um, a professional salon setting, if you will.
Sure.
I was exposed to shop culture. That's just where you make all your money. You take walk-ins, you do as many clients as you can, and you remain available to your clients.
Right.
That was the culture um, that I was exposed to straight out of hair school. And so it wasn't until maybe like a year and a half before I actually opened my own place that I worked in a salon where I was the youngest operator there. And every stylist that worked there, including the owner, they started at 6 a.m. and they were done by 2. I was the only one that started at 10 a.m. and the earliest I would get done was 10 p.m. and the latest was probably like 2, 3 in the morning. And that was crazy. And I was just looking around me like, how am I still here and everybody else is going home and they grown, they kids grown. I still got little kids. I have to figure something, I have to change. And I just ask God for that strategy. And I thank God for just that shift because I no longer work like that. I work 3 days a week, you know. So now I've just gotten to that point in my 30s and now 40s that I've been able to balance it. And how I've been able to do that is just being really intentional about my time. I know how to cut off that. I have a cutoff point. I serve my clients one-on-one. I have a tight schedule. I don't do same day appointments. I don't do walk-ins. Who's ever on the books, that's who's getting serviced. If you're not on the books, I got to schedule you sometime down the line. I'm very intentional now about my time and making sure that I am getting off at the appointed time so that I can get home to my family and do what needs to be done there. And that's